when I look at like my insights and I look at the like my followers, my audience, the higher percentage is females. So it's definitely girls.
Be careful. Be careful now.
Bombastic side eye.
We've all gone on someone's profile and searched through to see if they're single or not. Hello, yes people. Welcome to another episode of the Yes Girls, where we, Claire
And Akumu.
say yes to doing, being, or learning something new and documenting our journeys.
And we invite accomplished experts to educate us, and then we take on the challenge to edutain you, our wonderful listeners. And then we go back to our experts for them to tell us about their journey of saying yes, and then they rate our efforts.
My name is Claire, and I bet I can make you do anything I want you to.
Ooh, spooky.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean?
Whatever I do, you are guaranteed to want to do, or be, or learn.
Sounds like you want to be some kind of dictator. Or a dictator style yes girl.
No, I really want to be. And
Hold on. You're about to announce this week's episode, aren't you? Yes.
I told you we would end up wanting to do just as I do. Because this episode, I'm saying yes to
Being an influencer. As we said, we are expanding the expertise of this season by having multiple experts in these episodes. We are not the experts. Remember, we're just the guinea pigs who inspire you to say yes. So let's see who are the stars of this episode.
So for this episode, we had two experts. First up, I got my full briefing and being an influencer 101 from one of Kenya's best loved and admired influencers who went viral on social media because of her ability to capture the hearts, eyes, and likes of Kenyans on socials. Maeve Sherryl is our first expert, and we'll be hearing from her a little later. Then in the studio with us today, we have another renowned Kenyan content creator who describes herself on social media bios as your not so average Kenyan girl, short with a tall personality, going about her life outside the ordinary lenses of life and being silly while at it. I think that's accurate. She rose to fame with her skits gently mocking African politicians and continues to entertain the world with her sketches and also her light touch and down-to-earth attitude. That was not a dig at being short, by the way, that down-to-earth thing. Esther, welcome to the studio.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So tell us, did we miss anything in your bio or what would you like to add to it?
No, that's about it. That is everything. I think. I hope. You know, I'm blank. Like, this is that thing where you're told, tell us about yourself. And you're like, who am I? What am I? And what am I doing in this world? So, yeah, I don't think you missed anything.
Okay, we just created an existential crisis in your brain. Oh, man.
And should we call you Esther or Kazungu?
Kazungu.
Okay.
Because there's so many Esthers. No shade to Esthers.
Shade, but no shade. Okay, so Kazungu, we're going to hear a lot more from you about this world of influencing, as well as from Maeve. But first, can you just tell us what we mean or what you would mean by saying being an influencer? And would you categorize yourself as one?
To me, being an influencer is being able to, what is it called? What is the word? English is hard. But you're able to affect how people think about certain things. You're able to affect how they think. Let me just say affect because it's the closest to whatever word I was looking for. But yes, that's what an influencer is to me. And yes, I consider myself one because especially in my digital activism, that's where I really see that impact. Like when you have the conversations and you're just back and forth, like this is how I'm thinking and this is how you're thinking. So like look at things from my perspective. And if people are able to do that, yes. So yes, I do consider myself an influencer.
Awesome. An influencer and a digital activist then.
And an actor. Like I'm many things actually. Okay,
And
you
a
see when
comedian.
you asked me like what you've left out, you see, I didn't remember. I didn't
Now your
remember.
existential
I'm like,
crisis is over.
Okay, so yes, actor, digital activist, yes.
So before we get into this episode, just one quick thing. This is season 5, and so far we've gotten some amazing feedback from you all about previous episodes and seasons. I'll read one of them out. This one is from Just Wemma on Instagram. I'm just from listening to season 4, episode 9 of how Adele is your yes person because she's down to earth. I dig with that. I'm slowly getting back to appreciating and engaging big names I meet after a long spell of not doing so because of some past overwhelming experiences. And I'm learning that there are many down-to-earth people out there. Amen to that. Thank you so much, Just Wemma.
Including the one we are sitting next to right now. So, want to share your feedback on what you're currently saying yes to? Great. Reach out to us on Instagram or Twitter by dropping a comment or a DM on our page. That's at Yes Girls Podcast. Now, back to the episode. So, to kick us off, Kazungu, how did you get started as an influencer and what can you share with us about your journey so far?
So this journey began back in 2016. I had won a phone, an iPhone, and that's when I decided, oh, now I have. And this is not to say that you need to have an iPhone to begin. Like, yeah, because there are very many nice phones out there. But for me, my mindset then was just I wanted a good phone. The other phone I had, I won't mention the make, will just not do it for me. So when I got the iPhone, and I was interning at the Ministry of Lands, so I was switching from Ministry of Lands to Radio Africa. So in between, when I got that break, that's when I made like my first YouTube video. Now before that, I was actually doing like short skits of anything I thought of that I thought was funny and relatable, and I did quite okay. So that was also another beginning. And then so I continued with content creation on YouTube. Um, I'm trying to remember my content on Instagram. I don't think I was really actively doing skits because all I can see is YouTube, YouTube, YouTube for the longest time. And then when I cleared uni, it was a bit hectic. So I paused, especially when I joined. Now I got employed to the same Radio Africa, and then it got overwhelming. It got so overwhelming. I didn't have time to. I thought I was gonna have like two jobs. So my 9 to 5 and then the content creation on the side. But I was taking oh sorry. The working in a media house took up so much of my time. I was on the road. And then I was working. It was really not a 9 to 5. It was 9 to whatever time I finish my job. So it really drained me. Oh, it really drained me. Even just my creativity. I remember like when I joined, by the way, and I was already a content creator when I was joining. Like a couple of people knew me. Let's just say I was past the 10K mark. Cause that was the mark back then. I don't know how nowadays we're like, okay, 100K. I'm like, guy.
It's because you remember it
100K.
was to get 10K to put links in the
Yeah.
stories.
Oh,
That's why
yeah.
it was the first milestone.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, yeah. And I wish it was Instagram. Like, anyway, it's fine. Because you'd get to 10K and you'd be like, I'm satisfied. I'm cool. I'm fine. I can go about life. Anyway, so I was past 10K and somebody told me, I remember her name was Esther, my namesake, one day, and she told me, don't let this place drain you or like take away your creativity. And that time I was like, this is of course not. How? Bruh. She knew what she was saying and why she was saying it. So I was unable to balance content creation in 2019 really what is the word? It suffered. Yes. My page suffered. The I was not posting videos. Like I didn't have time to post videos. I tried cheating people with just posting stills, but they were not there for that. They knew why they were on my page and it was not for the stills. So the stills were not getting that much engagement. So they really just wanted videos. And I could not give them videos because videos take a lot to record. Come 2020, we start working from home. I'm like, yay, an opportunity. Let me see if I can get back to, creating content and putting it out. So I started with Instagram and I was like, oh, I'm seeing the insights are coming back up. Good. Then I tried YouTube for a very short while. Yo, YouTube takes a lot of commitment. And I didn't have that. And then it's, for someone who wasn't YouTubing before the pandemic, I think I just like lost it. Not lost it like going crazy, lost it in terms of losing my touch. I didn't know what YouTube really was about. So I tried as much to vlog like whatever I was doing in the house. It wasn't enough for me at least. So I was like, you bye. I'm not here to suffer. Bye. And then YouTube, that like the return is so small. You can put so much into recording a video and putting everything together. And then I know people usually say, oh, don't focus on the views, but bruh, if you're not focusing on the views, what are you focusing on? Because the views is what is gonna give you like returns. So if you're not focusing on views, what are you focusing on? It's plus it's easier said than done. I know people who say that mean well, and I guess it's passion because I'm passionate about content creation. I guess I was just not passionate about YouTube. So I have friends who are still on YouTube. Like we started with them, they're still there. So they were passionate and they have, yielded their results. Shout out to guys like I am Mudoni or Mudoni. Why am I calling you by your by your handle? Shout out to guys like Mudoni. I am Mudoni. I am not Mudoni. So shout out to Mudoni, Kit Candy, Stephanie Nganga. Because Stephanie Nganga has like this whole SNS. It's just so amazing. Like I really hope she gets to, go on TV with
What
it.
is SNS?
SNS is the Stephanie Nganga show.
Okay. I
Yes.
thought it was like a special influencer, acronym.
I know, it sounds so good. Even just the name, like you were born for this. Shout out to you. So yeah, those guys are still on YouTube. They're still doing it big, but I just guess it was not my passion. YouTube was not my passion. So go back focusing on Instagram, TikTok, not so much on Twitter then. Was that? Yeah, not so much on Twitter then. So Instagram was my main like platform. That was my main social media. That's where I like literally slowly grew my numbers and I just saw them. There was no like overnight, virality or anything. So was it either November or September? I keep confusing those months. I had 2020. So I haven't talked about like quitting. Sorry. So we start working from home. I see, this is possible. The insights are back up. And then I eventually quit my job because, it wasn't making sense. Now that I've mentioned the company, let me just say it wasn't making sense. So I quit my job. Then I go, now I go hard at content creation. I say we have to make it or make it. So I start, back again, videos, consistency. You know that thing they tell you, consistency one day. Yeah, I did everything. And then I remember when quitting, one of my signs that I'm like doing the right thing and going the path that, for me, I believe in God. So for anyone else, maybe the universe or Allah was saying is, I wanted a sign just to make sure you're doing the right thing. So the day I was actually clearing, we're going home to get the equipment, like the computer, to take it back to the office. I got a call from my first brand deal. They had reached out earlier during the year, but Corona messed everything up. So they reached out again. They were like, "Oh, we're sorry. We called you and then we disappeared. It's like just Corona just messed things up." I was like, "Yeah, that's okay." So are you still up for it? I'm like, "Yes." So that was the sign. I was like, "Okay, this is guys, this is." And then I got that one gig, and then it was dry. And then I started questioning again, because I'm like, okay. I mean, so now that there's no other gig, and then it was like that for a couple of months because I quit in April. I think it was April 23rd. Yeah, because Corona came in March, yes?
Yeah.
So April
Mid-March.
23rd, that's when I quit. Um Fast forward to now, the November and September I was telling you about, I was really tired. I was telling my sister, yo, I've been consistent. Like, there's nothing literally you can tell me that I've not done yet. If it's consistency, I've done it even on YouTube, which I hate. But yes, I was consistent and nothing was giving. I had one gig and that was it. So I cried. I was crying. Yeah, it was a really tough night. I was crying. My sister was so sad because she didn't know what to do. She didn't know what to tell me that I've not had before or read before. She didn't know how to inspire me. But the following day, I there I was again, creating content. So I took my, ring light. There's this trend on TikTok where people are imitating series and scenes from series, movies, or music videos, just like popular scenes. And me, I've been watching these parliament videos since, like, if when I was in uni, actually I knew about them. So that's like 2016, and before 2016, 2015, 2016, I knew about those videos. So I was like, let me do this one. Let me imitate these ones. So I imitate them and I post. I had no idea, but then I didn't even think this would go anywhere because the other videos were not going anywhere. Everyone was back on TikTok. TikTok used to be Musically. I was on TikTok before it was even TikTok. So it was just me, adding on to the 2 videos or 3 videos I had before. And I was doing like random content, trying to see, what will work. So I posted that parliament video and it went viral. Yo, like wow, 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 wow.
This is a day after you were crying.
Yes, this is a day after I was
Wow.
crying. My sister gets so emotional about this story because she also remembers the fact that I was so low, so defeated, and I still dressed up, took that camera, took my ring light, and created that content as low as I was. So yeah, so I went viral. And then that was now 2021 was such a good January, especially was such a good year because it was brand deals after brand deals after brand deals. And yeah, the rest is history. Now we are here.
Nice. It's an amazing story.
Mm.
And actually, I was gonna ask, like, at what point in this did it become a job? Like, at what point did it get monetized? But you said you got one deal and then nothing for a while, and then you found the right recipe. You found your niche.
So before I quit my job, there's actually a company that there's actually a company that paid for my services. Like, oh wow, this is my first paying gig. They're no longer like in existence. It was like a delivery company, so to say. Like they shop for you and then they deliver. Yeah, and then they're meant to deliver within an hour. And if they don't do that, they need to refund you. So I guess now that was not such a very smart, caveat to put. So I think it got them into like losses and they were not doing so well here. I think they are in other countries. I'm not so sure. But now this one was suffering. This Kenyan one. I think I understand like why the one in Kenya suffered because as we have traffic, you see the way people usually say, "Ati, you can't be recording this music video. Ati, you're following someone at the airport before they board their plane because what is Mombasa Road and traffic? You will not get there." So I think that's why it didn't work here because of that traffic and all. Anyway, sorry guys. I hope you guys like come back because it was sort of a good idea. Anyway, so those are the first people to ever pay me for content creation. And then there was another the company that came when I was like they had reached out, then they came back when I was quitting my job. It was that year was them and another company that had reached out, but now the other company never you know went forward with it because it's a hiking activities, blah blah blah, indoor climbing and stuff. So that, of course, Corona, like, that one definitely was not gonna like move forward. But the other one we could do it because it was a menstrual product company. Yes. So so that's like 20. I think I got my first paying gig in 2018.
That's after 2 years.
Yeah, after 2 years.
Of
starting.
consistency.
Yeah.
Ish.
Well, ish. Ish.
Nice. Okay, so Claire, can you what do you say after that? Nothing. Because now Claire did this challenge. So tell us how you kicked off your learning
Well,
process.
caveat, I did not do 5 years of being an influencer.
Right.
Okay.
And no brand
And I
ma-
got no brand deals yet. First off, to start this challenge, I had a good sit down with Maeve, my first expert. And for the record, Maeve is possibly one of the best experts I've ever sat down with before a challenge. She was so real, and she is exactly how she appears online: cute, funny, personable, knowledgeable, and very down to earth. Not the sort of influencer I was used to seeing, who are sometimes nothing like their online personas. We recorded our whole conversation on video, so check out our socials to see and hear some snippets from that.
But no, but it doesn't have to be like that. You can be an because okay, fine. Also, I asked Akumu why she thought I was an influencer, and she said it's because of the following I have on Instagram. To some extent, yes, to some extent, no. I'd say maybe I'm an influencer on the front of the podcast because that's where I get to share with people how I think, share with people how I feel about certain subjects, and then pick notes from there. So I'm an influencer on that front. On Instagram, maybe influencing for clothes, like I can get you to buy clothes from a certain shop, or I can get you to buy a certain product from a certain place. So yes, maybe on Instagram on that front. And when you say it goes against who you are, I don't think it has to be that way because I think the number one way to win on social media is to actually be yourself. Because if you look at everyone else's page, I think everyone is trying to be like somebody else. You'll find someone's page and you're like, oh my god, she's doing this thing just exactly as this other person is. So if we're all trying to be like so and so, then who are you leaving yourself for? And I feel like the people who are themselves, so if maybe let's say you're funny or let's say you are crazy creative and that's the side you choose to portray on social media, I feel like it gives you an edge because I don't think everybody's funny. I don't think everybody's funny. And then if you look at examples like there's this girl called Rona on Instagram. She makes funny jokes. Oh, let's use Elsa Majimbo. I miss her. Do you know her? No? Okay. Okay, so those are some of the examples of the people who have been authentically themselves on Instagram. Okay. Where, when you think of Instagram, you think glam, what you think you have to be dolled up, but the content, Elsa's content was her in her batutas and just eating crepes and making jokes during quarantine, and now she's a global star. Like, that just happened because of her being herself. So you can be yourself and end up being a super influential person on social media or generally. Okay.
And like a true pro, she was not at all fazed by the camera, of course. So her main advice was to be myself, talk about things I care about or enjoy, and be consistent. Kazungu, you mentioned consistency. So she really said that is key. Scheduling posts so that every day you're putting something out, but really focus on something you know or care about, especially for this like initial challenge, right? I'm not looking to become a millionaire off this to begin with.
Now pause there, Kazungu. What could you add from that advice that Claire was given?
I'd say therapy.
Therapy.
No, yes, because
Wow.
if you're just, I don't know, man. Okay, I don't know if other people like going about life and they're all good, like they're content creators and they're all good. Life is good and everything, but I feel like it's so important to have someone to talk to, even if it's not like officially someone you're paying. Just have that someone you can talk to about, you know, content creation and ups, downs, everything, because you will really need that release. Because I feel like creative blocks sometimes are brought about by that, having everything, like you're just keeping your thoughts to yourself. So you are jammed. Creativity cannot come because you're just thinking about these other many things that you're worried about in life. And once you get, that thing they say, that thing that a problem shared is a problem half solved. I think the half solving is getting it out of your mind so that it's no longer a mental burden. So yes, I think that's the only thing, because she said everything else. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
All right, Claire. So armed with all this advice, including therapy and a release, what did you do and what did you get from it?
Okay, firstly, I love that advice. I think that's incredibly important and probably something that doesn't get talked about enough. So back to my challenge. Yes. So after we had that initial session with Maeve, came the holidays, right? It was the Christmas holidays. And so I decided to really challenge myself by putting myself through this challenge during the holidays. The pros of this were I had less stress, more time, and more people on their phones a lot and in a good mood after the holidays, right? Or during the holidays. They're eating well, they're not at work. The cons. Number one, I was in Europe with my family, not doing the exciting things that influencers have you believe they do every day. But this was actually maybe an advantage. So I took Maeve's advice to the letter. I focused on something I love, running. I planned my posts out to be consistent with posting every day for a week with a focus on reels. And I was my real self, which when I'm in England means messing around and being silly with my dad as my mum films and looks on in love and disappointment. So really, I had fun with this challenge. I also put out a couple of random posts about my pole dancing and a cute photo of me in Saxo, which was surprisingly popular, but it also made people think that Saxo was with me in England. Right? It was an old photo where we were in matching clothes. So never believe what you see on Instagram. People said, "Oh, Saxo's coming with you to England."
How did he get the visa?
Yeah, exactly. Can I get one too? Anyway, so yeah, that's in a nutshell how my week went.
All right. So it seems like you followed the advice to the letter, like you said. So Kazungu, what do you think about what Claire tried to do for this challenge? And how would you advise anyone who wants to just get started in a similar thing, like just starting with something they love and they can talk about?
I love that she was being her authentic self, because that's the easiest thing you can do. And if people fall in love with that, then now you can keep it up, because imagine pretending to be something you're not and then having to keep that up. First of all, life is already hard as it is, and then now you have to pretend you're someone you're not, and you have to keep up like appearances and stuff like that. I'm glad you didn't have to keep up appearances, because I don't think I do either. Like, you will only see me if I post about it, I was there. If I do not post about it, I was not there. It's as simple as that for me. Apart from, the South African Parliament, never been there. Gotta be there.
False news.
Gotta be there soon. I hope I'm gonna be there soon. But yes, I love that you are authentic. Yes, the consistency, of course, and then that thing you said about people thinking that somebody who was it
My
with you?
partner, Saxo.
Oh, with you in England. Was it England?
Mhm.
Yes. I feel like it's the same for me with so okay, for example, my parliament videos. Like, the internet is so weird.
Yes.
The internet is so freaking weird, because now, for example, the videos I've posted, like right now, the videos I'm posting, most of them, if you can see, you can actually even tell the quality. So some of them are actually reposts, but people are seeing them for the first time, so they think I am responding to their requests.
Mhm.
You get, so somebody tells me, do this one where and Rosie was doing this. So somebody thinks I actually went and recorded this, but okay, yes, I actually did, but not today. I recorded it 2 years ago. You guys are seeing it now. So yeah, the internet is really interesting in that sense. Like, what you see might not be real time. What you see, somebody can convince you it's real time, but it might not.
Yeah.
And then, okay, what else did you ask?
Just how she did, and how
Not a
would,
ra-
would that change into advice for someone who wants to do the same kind
Oh,
of
how would
challenge?
it? Yeah. So, but I feel like you did really good. I think if I was not into influencing, I will not survive. Because me, if I don't have interest in something, I do not. So that's really wow. 10 over 10.
Awesome.
But
Don't give me the rating yet.
how it turns into advice is that like be real. You can't don't pretend. Don't pretend in this life. You will not have the energy eventually. And yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Cool. And so anyway, moving on. I wanted to
be
add
real.
something about don't believe what you see, because I think I have red hair now and people keep asking. My boss actually asked me today, so you have red hair and then you also have black hair? I was like, no, my black hair is old videos. Like, you see, so people
Yeah.
just believe things at face value. Anyway, so Claire, how did the numbers shift now that you've followed everything to the letter and everything? Did you see any change in stats?
Yeah, so we didn't set out a specific goal, right? The aim wasn't to see how many likes I got or like gain that many followers, right? The aim was to do the influencing, not necessarily the outcome. But I did actually see a pretty big spike in my numbers, I must say. So my accounts reached, right? That's one of the metrics that Instagram gives you, went up by 440%. Maybe the baseline was 0. I'll leave that up to your imagination. Okay, but so accounts reach went up 440% compared to the previous week when I was posting, right? I was posting something. And then my accounts engaged went up by 288%. I also got 612% more content interactions. That's a good metric, right? My followers didn't go up by much. It was only 0.3%, but that wasn't what I was going for here, right? I wasn't like liking, it wasn't like the social media management challenge we did a few seasons ago where you're following accounts, liking other people's accounts. I was really focused on the content that I was putting out. So yeah, if you want to check out season 2 for more on that social media management. But yeah, I definitely saw a difference in my numbers. I felt good that I was posting content that I enjoyed making, and it wasn't because, a brand told me to, or, I felt like pressure to post about one thing in particular. So there was still some variety. Yeah, and I mostly focused on the reels because that's what Maeve advised. And also I know that to get engagement now, as you said, like people aren't here for the stills, right? They're not here for the images, apart from the one of me and Saxo, which for some reason, maybe because we were in matching outfits, I don't know.
And then, anything with the man who people think is your boyfriend is always a hit. That
If
will
you don't
always
post
work.
it too often, a couple
Yeah, I was gonna say that because anytime I post my husband, I'm like assured the engagement is gonna be high. Yeah. I hate that though, but it's okay.
They're not. You're not enough. They need your husband too.
I mean,
Have you checked the gender? Who likes it more? That would be interesting to find out.
I'm sure it's girlies because it's my when I look at like my insights and I look at the like my followers, my audience, the higher percentage is females. So it's definitely girls.
Interesting.
Be careful. Be careful now.
Bombastic side eye.
We've all got on someone's profile and searched through to see if they're single or not, even if we're not single ourselves.
No,
We've
there's
all done
even
it.
that is for someone you don't know. Oh, but
Yeah.
ex-stalking is
No. I'm talking about like a
is a
celebrity.
skill.
You're like, oh, are they married? A celebrity you have a crush
Oh my god,
on.
yeah. But there are people I
Yeah.
go down like until like 5 years back, like just looking.
You go down?
Feed.
as well?
Like because you're looking at an influencer and you're trying to understand what kind of person they are. So you just go down. Yeah. 2 years disappear from your life and you wonder what the hell did I do in my
No, you
2
don't.
hours.
You don't do
No.
this.
No.
Why is she making us feel like we're weirdos? Yes, people,
are.
tell us that you do this too, please.
Even exes.
Don't
Even exes,
lie.
I do that to my exes. I go down, check.
I'm sure you did go down on your exes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that I did too. And they did on me. Okay, moving forward swiftly. So, Kazungu, should Claire consider a career change into
Yes.
influencing?
Yes. The answer is yes.
Wait, a career change to influencer or to what?
Yes.
To a runner, marathon
feel
runner. Which one?
I feel like you can actually hack this world.
See, is it now that I should admit that I haven't posted on Instagram? I hadn't posted on Instagram for like a month before last week.
Imagine
Sorry.
that challenge burnt her out and then she just went silent.
No,
kind
I
of.
was a bit consistent, but then when life gets really busy, you won't see me on socials. But because I don't have the obligation to do so, it's okay. I actually used to be a brand ambassador for a running brand. So I was kind of obliged to be posting, but it wasn't, I wouldn't call it influencing necessarily. It was just mostly by running in that gear. That's how we were influencing.
You
But
are
we
br-
also had to post something regularly.
You are a brand ambassador in another brand. That one that's on
The
your
Yes
t-shirt.
Girls, I'm always a Yes Girls brand ambassador. Yeah.
Sometimes I literally have to give her a read. Post this when she's silent. You know, the silent moments.
But she can okay, not like career change maybe, but a side hustle.
Mm,
Yes.
I'm up for that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to hear the ratings. Yeah, that's kind of a rating, but let's hear the actual numbers
The
of
final
this rating. But first, a short break. So now for the ratings. Out of 10 or like block, what would you give her?
I feel like it doesn't make sense to give anything other than 10 over 10 because I didn't have anything to add.
Oh,
So it's 10 over 10.
Hallelujah! I've made it. I can quit. Have I ever got a 10 out of 10?
Brand sponsors, please contact us starting
Yes.
today.
Bring the money. I don't think I've got a 10 out of 10 since school.
Yeah. Have we ever gotten
No.
a 10 out of 10 in this podcast?
Let me savor this moment.
Boniface Mwangi, I hope you're listening.
Boniface gave us like a 2.5 out of 10. I know she got 1 out of 10.
I got
Well, you were
1.5.
saying yes to being an activist.
Yes.
That's hard. I understand why he'd say that
Hey.
because he's been through the most.
Yeah.
So
And
I
also-
think the scale is like you
He was,
know
ex-
that this,
he was
this,
expecting
this.
us to get a pig
Really
and
get our
walk on the
hands
streets.
dirty.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I understand why it's
So at least this challenge, the aim was to stick to socials, which we did. But you know, I went out of my I didn't go out of my comfort zone, but I tried, right? I got other people involved.
Wait, were you to do it for a specific amount of time?
A week.
A week. Oh, then yeah, you did. You did everything you were meant to do.
Thank you.
And we have a rating from Maeve. I don't know how to pronounce this name. How
Maeve.
do you say? Maeve.
Yeah.
I always feel weird saying the E at the end. Maeve. So we have a rating from Maeve, the expert who guided Claire at the beginning of the challenge. Let's take a listen.
Hi, yes, girls. So, Claire said yes to being an influencer, and she chose a specific niche, and it was something she loved, and it was sporting. Not sporting necessarily, but running. She likes to run. She's taken part in several running challenges, competitions, and I love that for her. So, the content she put out was excellent because it showed us how she prepares for a run, how she she collaborated with her father, which I thought was very, very exceptional. Your father is so funny. And overall, I think you did a great job, extremely great job saying yes to being a sports influencer with a focus on running. Now, my advice to anybody who would want to say yes to being an influencer would be just as Claire did, to find something that you like and then zone in on it and then now plan. So, planning content involves scheduling of posts, it involves collaborations on videos and everything that content creators put out. And then just enjoy what you do and then be consistent. And I think with that, you've cracked half the code. I enjoyed collaborating with you on this episode and I hope we can do more. Bye.
Now, yes, people, there are so many ways that you can say yes along with us. First, you can follow us and our experts on the socials. We are at Yes Girls Podcast altogether across all platforms. And you can find Kazungu on Instagram and most other platforms. It's at Esther Kazungu, right?
Yes.
Everywhere.
Mm.
What are your top ones? Instagram?
Bruh. It's been so difficult to actually, know what are my top ones because somebody the other day was asking me if you were to delete a social media, which one will you delete? I was like,
That's a crazy question.
they're all different audiences, so can I not delete any? Because Instagram, let me even just explain. Instagram, it's mostly people. Okay, of course, I know there are like new followers who didn't know I existed before the parliament videos, but I know for a fact the people on Instagram were with me even before I became a content creator. Like those are people who are following me for the longest time, or they've seen the journey, like they've actually watched me grow. TikTok, it's overnight success because they followed me when I was doing parliament videos. So they know me as the person who does the chick who does parliament videos. Twitter is mostly, so they know me for parliament videos as well, but also, the civic education videos. Yeah, and digital activism. Twitter. Well, Instagram also knows me for that as well, because there are conversations I hold on my stories, and like it's about leadership and stuff. So Instagram and Twitter kind of on the same like length, but I don't know. Like if I was to delete one today, I don't know which one it will be because they're so different, very different audiences.
They all
It's
give you
okay. You
something.
don't need to
Yeah.
delete any. I can see you stressing.
She's very stressed
They're
right
safe.
now.
They're safe. They're all safe on your phone.
And
Yeah.
I don't think any of those companies are falling anytime soon. So you're safe for now.
Exactly, for now.
Touch wood.
So that's at Esther Kazungu, Kazungu. And Maeve. I have problems with this name. I don't know why I'm struggling.
Then you definitely need to spell it.
Yeah. Maeve. It's like me. It's like Eve
Maeve.
of Adam, but with a ma in the beginning.
And
Maeve. Actually, yeah, she's many Eves. Sorry, Maeve. We're just making fun of this. Sorry. So her tag is Maeve Sherryl. Sherryl. All together. Maeve Sherryl.
So you can also go back and listen to all 4 previous seasons of the show if you haven't yet, or re-listen to them. We've got dozens of episodes and yesticles, saying yes to everything from being vegan to learning crypto to doing pole dancing, and plenty of behind the scenes and special guests. So every episode offers something a little different. Please also check out the video diaries and behind the scenes footage from the challenge in this episode on our YouTube channel. That's at Yes Girls Podcast.
And as you listen and watch, please do take time to rate and review us. It helps other Yes people discover the show and get as much out of it as you do. So rate us on Spotify out of 5. Hopefully, you'll do the 5. And rate us on Apple Podcasts by writing an actual review and try to make it, more than one sentence. Thank you.
And remember, you can also reach out on socials to suggest challenges you think we should say yes to doing, being, or learning, or get involved as an expert or sponsor. Share your own yes experiences. We want to give a follow and a like to all the people who helped make this episode possible. Sampisha Productions and Snowball Studios for, as always, producing this episode so wonderfully.
And we would make parody videos with all the love and affection possible for Pedro Brian, who composed our theme music, and Kags of Eternal Concepts for our kick-ass logo that can influence you into happiness because of all the colors.
And of course, we would make free paid partnership ads for our experts in this episode, Maeve Sherryl and Esther Kazungu. You ladies are powerhouses of the social media world in Kenya and beyond, and we truly admire you. And we are standing in a big way over all the Yes Gang listeners, followers, and fellow Yesayers. You listening and getting inspired to also say yes is what gets us up every podcast morning.
And Kazungu, one last question that we are asking our guest experts this season forward. What's something you've recently said yes to?
Does it have to be like you, like becoming an influencer?
It can be even.
It can be
something small.
tiny.
I'm kidding. Anyway, so
I mean, you said yes to that a long time ago. That's old news.
I recently said yes to doing things scared. Because people usually say it, but when it comes to actually doing it, it's not the same as saying it. So I recently took bike riding classes, and riding a bike is okay. I think I'm overthinking, but I guess I feel like it's more difficult than riding. I mean, than driving, because you see, you're the body. You see a car, it has a whole body. You're protected, but like riding, bruh. You're the body. So I've told myself I'm gonna do it scared. If I get a bike that's on sale, I'm buying it and I'm gonna be riding it as often as possible. So I'm gonna do that scared, and so many other things. I hope that spills over to the content I want to put out, because sometimes I want to do some videos and then I'm thinking, but will people like really receive this well? But that is not meant to matter. Like, as long as I'm happy, I should put out the content I love. So saying yes to doing things afraid for real.
Love it. You're a super yes girl now. Thank you, everyone. After all of this, you really have to go and check out our socials and Claire's, of course, just to check if she deserves the 10, which I believe she does, and to see if you're putting all this learning into practice. And of course, check out Kazungu as well on Instagram and every other platform she doesn't want to delete.
We are Claire
And Akumu.
and Kazungu.
And Kazungu.
And together we are the Yes Girls.
Oh yeah. Tag me. Yeah.
Tag, like.